Welcome to Victor Narrates Reddit. Like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next story. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments. Now, let's begin. You're too dependent. Let me breathe, my girlfriend screamed. This was her reaction to me simply asking where she was at 3 in the morning. All right, I told her. I blocked her number. While she slept, I packed my bags and moved to another state without a word. 3 years later, she found me. And that's when the real story began. I'm Felipe, 28 years old, and I work as a systems analyst. My girlfriend, Isabella, is 26 and a marketing assistant. We had been together for 2 years, living together for the last one. The apartment was mine. I paid the rent, utilities, food, internet, everything. Isabella contributed occasionally, always with the promise. When I get promoted, I'll contribute more. Our relationship was normal, with no major fights. Until that one Saturday night. I woke up at 3 in the morning. Her side of the bed was empty, cold. Her phone on the nightstand was buzzing over and over. Messages, calls. I sent her a text. Isabella, where are you? It's 3 a.m. Are you okay? 5 minutes later, she called me. What do you want? She yelled. I could hear loud music in the background. I was just asking where you were. It's 3 a.m. So what? I don't have to report to you every second. I was just worried. You're being controlling. Dependent. I need space. Let me breathe. Isabella, I just asked a question. Space, Felipe. Space. You're so suffocating. She hung up. I stared at my phone, processing. I asked where she was at 3 a.m. A reasonable response would have been, I'm at a bar with my friends. But no. Screaming, accusations, demands for space. I got up, took my phone, and blocked her number on everything. Calls, messages, social media. I pulled out my suitcases and started packing. Clothes, documents, my laptop, family photos. At 5 a.m., Isabella stumbled in, drunk. She collapsed onto the bed. I continued packing. My things, only my things. By 7 a.m., everything was ready. 4 suitcases, 2 boxes. I called my friend Martine. Can I store some things in your garage? Sure. What's going on? I'll tell you later. Martine arrived with his truck. We loaded everything. Isabella mumbled something in her drunken sleep. She had no idea I was leaving without a goodbye. She asked me for space. I was giving it to her. I went up one last time. I left the keys on the table. I didn't leave a note. I just left. During the day, I researched job offers in other states. I had $15,000 in savings. I found an offer 1,000 kilometers away. A tech company, good salary. I applied, did a video interview. The next day, I had a formal offer. Can you start in 2 weeks? I can start in 1 week. In 5 days. I resigned from my job, packed my car, and said goodbye to Martine. Does Isabella know? No. And she won't. If she asks, you don't know anything. Got it. I drove 1,000 kilometers to my new city, new apartment, new life. Isabella tried to contact me, but she was blocked on everything. According to Martine, she went to the apartment the next day, confused, calling me, Martine, have you seen Felipe? No. Why? He's disappeared. With all his stuff. He's not answering his phone. Martine never said a word, just as he promised. In my new city, I started from scratch. New job, new routine, no drama. 6 months later, I met Anna, 27, a civil engineer, at a coffee shop. Are you new in town? Yeah, I moved here about 6 months ago. Sounds like an interesting story. Maybe I'll tell you about it someday. We started dating. Anna was different, communicative, respectful, mature. If I'm going to be out late, I'll let you know. Not because I have to, but because I care about you. I appreciate that. 3 months later, she asked about my ex. She accused me of being controlling for asking where she was at 3 a.m. She told me she needed space. And what did you do? I gave her space. Infinite space. I moved to another state without telling her. Anna laughed. That's perfect. Literally. She asked for space. She got it. 3 years after leaving Isabella, my life was stable. Excellent job, a healthy relationship with Anna, and peace of mind. Until one Saturday at a coffee shop, someone tapped me on the shoulder. I turned around. It was Isabella. Felipe. My heart stopped. Isabella, we need to talk. No, we don't. Yes, we do. It's important. It's about your son. What son? Our son. He's 2 years old, and you owe me 3 years of child support. And right there began a battle I never asked for. I stared at Isabella, processing what she had just said. My son. Yes. His name is Mateo. He's 2 years old. He's yours. Isabella, we broke up 3 years ago. If he's 2, you would have been pregnant when I left. Exactly. I was pregnant. I just didn't know it yet. Anna appeared with our coffees. She looked at Isabella, then at me. Felipe, is everything okay? Anna, this is Isabella. My ex Isabella, this is Anna, my girlfriend. Isabella glared at me with contempt. You already found a replacement. It's been 3 years, Isabella. After you screamed at me and demanded space. And you just left without saying anything. Like a coward. You asked for space. I gave it to you. Not like that. Not by disappearing. What did you want? For me to stick around for more yelling? Anna touched my arm. Felipe, do you want me to go? No. Stay. This won't take long. I looked at Isabella. How did you find me? I searched for you for years. I finally saw you on LinkedIn, your city, your company. And you decided to show up with a claim about a son. He is your son, and you owe me 3 years of child support, which comes to about $45,000. If he's my son, I need a DNA test. You don't believe me? You disappeared on me for 3 years and now show up saying I have a son. Of course I need proof. Fine, we'll do the test. But when it confirms he's yours, you'll pay for everything with interest. If he's mine, I'll pay what's legally required. But I need proof from a certified lab. Isabella took out her phone. I know a place. No, I choose the lab. A certified, legally recognized one. You don't trust me. Isabella, you appear after 3 years with a $45,000 claim. No, I don't trust you. You were always like this. Untrusting, controlling. I was careful, and I was right. Look where we are. Isabella left in a fury. My lawyer will contact you. A week later, her lawyer sent me a letter demanding a paternity test, back child support, and more legal threats. I hired my own lawyer, Fernando, a specialist in family law. Fernando, my ex, showed up after 3 years. She says I have a 2-year-old son and is demanding $45,000. Have you seen the child? No, I only have her word for it. Then you definitely need a DNA test at a certified lab of my choosing. That's exactly what I said. She wanted to use a place she knew. Of course, probably one where she could manipulate the results. Fernando scheduled the test at a reputable lab with a strict chain of custody. Isabella arrived with a little boy, dark hair, brown eyes, about 2 years old. This is Mateo, she said. I looked at the child, searching for any resemblance. I didn't find any obvious ones. Hi, Mateo, I said softly. The boy shyly hid behind Isabella. The test was quick. A swab in my mouth, a swab in the boy's mouth. The samples were sealed and sent off. Results in 5 business days, the technician said. Those 5 days were an eternity. I kept thinking, what if he is my son? What if Isabella was pregnant when I left? It would have changed everything. I would have wanted to be present, to be a father. But I also thought about the odds. Isabella had been out until 5 a.m., drunk, at a bar or a club. Who was she with that night? What did she do? On the 5th day, the results arrived via email with a certified copy in the mail. I opened them, my hands trembling. Probability of paternity, 0%. I read it again to be sure. The alleged father is excluded as the biological father of the child. He wasn't my son. He never was. Isabella had been lying completely. I called Fernando. The results came in. 0% paternity. Perfect. Now we respond to her lawyer and consider a countersuit for fraud. I forwarded a copy to Isabella by email with a simple message. 0% paternity. He is not my son. I owe you nothing. She called me, screaming, those results are wrong. They're from a certified lab with a chain of custody. They did the test wrong. Isabella, I'm not the father. Accept it. He has to be yours. I wasn't with anyone else. Clearly you were. This isn't over. She hung up. A week later, her lawyer sent a new letter, suing me for emotional abandonment and psychological damages. She was asking for $45,000 in compensation. Fernando read the lawsuit and laughed. This is ridiculous. It has no legal basis. She can sue me for leaving her? They can try, but they'll lose. You weren't married. You have no legal obligation to maintain a relationship with an ex-girlfriend. And the supposed psychological damage? She would have to prove that your departure caused real harm and that you had an obligation to stay. You didn't. We prepared our defense with all the evidence. The text messages from that night, her screaming, her demands for space. She demanded space. You gave it to her. That's not abandonment. It's fulfilling her request. The trial was scheduled for 3 months later. Finally everything would end. The trial arrived 3 months later in a small courtroom. Judge Stern had a serious look. Isabella was there with her lawyer. I was there with Fernando. Isabella's lawyer went first. My client suffered emotional abandonment when Mr. Felipe disappeared without notice. This caused severe psychological trauma. Evidence of this trauma? The judge asked. My client experienced anxiety, depression, and inability to trust. Medical reports? Documented therapy? My client did not seek formal treatment, but the damage is evident. Evident damage is not legal proof. Fernando stood up. Your Honor, I have evidence that shows why my client left. He presented the messages from that night at 3 a.m. My client asked where his girlfriend was at 3 in the morning, concerned for her safety. She responded by screaming, accusing him of being controlling and demanding space. The judge read the messages. Ms. Isabella, are these messages authentic? Yes, but I was upset. He was always controlling me. Controlling you how? By asking where you were all the time. Do you have evidence that he asked all the time? I don't need evidence. I lived it. In court, you need evidence. Are there any more messages showing controlling behavior? Isabella's lawyer shuffled through his files. We don't have any more messages at this time. So, we only have this one conversation where you demanded space, and he gave it to you. Fernando continued. My client had no legal obligation to remain in the relationship. They were not married. They had no children together. He paid all the rent for the apartment, which was his. Furthermore, Ms. Isabella recently attempted to extort my client by claiming he had a son with her and demanding $45,000. He presented the DNA test. 0% paternity. The child is not my client's. She lied to get money. The judge looked at Isabella. Is this true? I thought he was his son. You thought? Or you knew he wasn't? I was confused. Confused about who the father of your child is? Isabella didn't answer. The judge reviewed all the documents, the lawsuit, the messages, the DNA test, the testimonies. Ms. Isabella, your claim of emotional abandonment is without merit. Mr. Felipe had no legal obligation to remain in a relationship with you, especially after you demanded space. But he left me without saying anything. You told him you needed space. He gave it to you, permanently. That was his legal choice. It's not fair. Life isn't always fair. But the law is clear. Lawsuit dismissed. And what about my suffering? Your suffering, if it exists, was a consequence of your own actions. You demanded space. You received it. Furthermore, your attempt at extortion with a false paternity claim destroys your credibility. The judge banged his gavel. Case closed. In addition, Ms. Isabella, you are to pay Mr. Felipe's legal fees. $2,500. I don't have that money. Then you will set up a payment plan or face garnishment. We walked out of the courtroom, Fernando smiling. That was easy. Her case had no foundation whatsoever. Will she pay me the $2,500? Probably not. People like her rarely pay. But at least you won. Isabella came out of the courtroom, crying. She looked at me with pure hatred. This isn't over, she said. It is over. The judge said so. Case closed. You'll regret this. I already regret wasting 2 years of my life with you. She stormed off, her lawyer following her, arguing. She never paid the $2,500. According to Fernando, she filed for bankruptcy 6 months later. I changed my number again, just as a precaution, and blocked every possible way she could contact me. Anna was with me through it all. How do you feel? Relieved. It's finally over. Do you think she'll try something again? No. She has no legal ground, and she can't find me easily anymore. 2 years later, my life continues peacefully. Stable job, a healthy relationship with Anna. We're talking about marriage, about a real future. No drama, no accusations, no false lawsuits. Isabella tried to contact me one more time through LinkedIn. A long message, apologizing, asking for financial help. I didn't reply. I just blocked her. Because I learned a valuable lesson. When someone asks you for space so dramatically, give it to them completely. And when someone tries to manipulate you with lies, document everything. Protect yourself legally. I'm Felipe. I'm 31 years old, a systems analyst in a committed relationship. My ex-girlfriend screamed at me for asking where she was at 3 a.m. and demanded space. I gave it to her. I moved to another state without a word. 3 years later, she found me. She claimed I had a son. She demanded $45,000. The DNA test showed 0% paternity. He wasn't my son. He never was. She sued me for emotional abandonment. She lost. The judge dismissed everything and ordered her to pay my legal fees. She never paid, filed for bankruptcy, and I moved on with Anna, with peace, with a life free of drama. Because sometimes the best decision is to give someone exactly what they ask for. Isabella asked for space. I gave her an infinite amount, and that space saved me from years of manipulation, lies, and drama. Revenge isn't always an active pursuit. Sometimes, it's simply walking away and letting them face the consequences of their own actions. And that's exactly what I did. Yes,